We are part of that world, and sometimes my own studies bring me experiences, such as that walking in the snow in which I directly experience the mystery that underlies our world and our lives as part of it. Yet many people, even some professional physicists, have a different experience of physics, as a rather difficult, abstract, and dry subject having little to do with actual experience, and very little to do with beauty and mystery. Even those fascinated with physics and its exotica of black holes, time travel, quantum paradoxes, and cosmic issues often consider these to be strange and interesting issues about the world out there, studied and understood only by other faraway people who are, if you will, part of the high priesthood. But the beautiful unity of the world, and the physics that describes it, means that we are more intimately connected with such things than most imagine. This book puts forward a rather radical proposal, that not only are you intimately connected with the universe on the largest scales, but you are central. This is not to deny that you are in some sense an infinitesimal arrangement of dust on one small planet out of billions of trillions in our observable universe, which may well be one of many universes. In this physical sense, you are indeed ridiculously insignificant. But I will try to convince you that you are also a giant, that you, a thinking, conscious being, are part of the community of such beings responsible for giving meaning, and even existence, to the universe you inhabit. Sometime after my experience thinking about multiple universes, I was recounting it, and my thoughts about that experience, to a good friend who happens to be a long-time practitioner of Zen Buddhism. He noted that my experience reminded him of what occurs during Zen koan practice. After we discussed this for a while, it seemed clear that koan practice, while somewhat different in subject matter, was very much along the lines of the process I was looking for. Zen koans as collected in books are vignettes of a sort, that embody teachings about reality as explored by Zen adepts. There are classic collections you can buy at the bookstore, but as practiced, koans were devised as a means by which a teacher can confront a student with a situation that, while initially baffling, can be resolved when the practitioner is able to break through habits of thought and answer the koan in a way that is based on new insight, rather than knowledge or previous experience. And engagement with a koan is always a fully personal and participatory experience. So I decided to create a set of cosmological koans to explore the connections between us and the unimaginably immense, astoundingly complex, and ultimately mysterious universe. The intention of this book is not to compare, equate, or conflate physics and Eastern mysticism as some books have done. There are real parallels that will emerge, but the adopting here is primarily of method and attitude rather than of content. In both physics and Zen, deep understanding is achieved by breaking through the previous patterns of thought and looking at an issue in a genuinely new way. These patterns can be incredibly tenacious and hidden. For example, Aristotle stated what pretty much everyone believed, and many still do, that objects tend to be at rest, move only when pushed or pulled, and return to rest when the pushing or pulling stops. It took fully 2,000 years for Galileo and others to discover and convince the world that the true tendency of objects is to stay in motion. Things come to rest not naturally but by the action of a specific force, such as friction. The history of physics is rife with such revolutions in insight. Newton's understanding that the physics of gravity on Earth and in the solar system is the same. Einstein's radical revolution in our understanding of space and time. Heisenberg's discovery of intrinsic uncertainty in fundamental physics, and so on. How were these leaps achieved? Much as in Zen practice, it was by willing to sit through long hours of confusion and not knowing, often wrestling with apparent